There is no Christian genocide happening in Nigeria, and these claims exist to further U.S. interests in the region. There is no credible evidence or international reports of a targeted, deliberate Christian genocide by Boko Haram. And the talking points surrounding this by U.S. political actors are rooted in misinformation and are not supported by the datasets. Now, that being said, Boko Haram's attacks on Christians, including massacres, church attacks, and kidnappings, are absolutely real. Now, this violence is absolutely real. To say that no violence against Christians exists is as equally wrong as saying that it is a targeted, deliberate Christian genocide. The truth lies somewhere in the middle. Boko Haram is an extremist, Salafist terrorist group that has attacked churches and mosques, meaning their victims are both Christian and Muslim. Independent conflict datasets and media analysis shows many Muslim victims. Some data projects actually report more Muslim deaths than Christian deaths in recent multi-year periods. And this is in line with the statistics behind multiple international insurgency groups. The vast majority of terror victims are Muslim. And these attacks generally focus on Muslims they consider apostates or collaborators. So multiple datasets actually show that the number of Muslim victims is either equal to or even greater than the number of Christian victims. And this isn't to say that Christian deaths don't exist or are somehow less valuable than Muslim deaths. The question is just in the scale of it. The claims of a targeted Christian genocide just aren't supported by the datasets. The reason these claims are amplified to such a degree, though, especially in U.S. political circles, is the way that this feeds into the broader geopolitical matrix. The U.S. is specifically advancing this rhetoric as a pretext to protecting its interests in the region. And I'll give you one guess as to what that interest is. Spoiler alert, it's oil.
Nigerian Christians are being killed right now in Nigeria. And instead of the conversation being focused on how to stop this and prevent this and protect Nigerian bodies, people like Bill Maher, who is a Zionist Jewish man, is shaping this conversation to be about Islamic extremists killing all of the Nigerian Christians in Nigeria. First of all, the group responsible for killing these Nigerian Christians is Boko Haram. Boko Haram is a terrorist organization, and they are responsible for killing more Muslims in Nigeria than Christians. Christians are certainly murdered in Nigeria, and in some cases they are murdered because they are Christian. But despite Boko Haram's murderous hostility to Christians, most of its victims have always been Muslim, not least because the insurgency takes place in a predominantly Muslim part of the country. So despite this Islamic terrorist organization killing more Nigerian Muslims than they kill Nigerian Christians, people seem to only bring up Nigerian Christians when they want to make a point about Islamic extremism.
So if we read her article that she used, she forgot to add this part. Boko Haram's killings of such great numbers of Muslims based on a wide definition of apostasy is understood to be the reason that the group split in 2016. Even Google talks about how, yes, Boko Haram frequently targets Muslims who it considers to be apostates or not real Muslims because they do not adhere to its own extreme Salafi jihadi interpretation of Islam. The group's ideology is highly exclusive and regards rival interpretations of Islam, as well as any perceived non-adherence to its strict Sharia law as grounds for violence. She also lied when she said that Boko Haram are the ones majority killing Christians, which if you look this up, it's Fulani militants were responsible for 55% of all recorded Christian deaths in Nigeria between 2019 and 2023. Some say 40%, some say 42%. Radical Islamist violence is spreading across many nations in sub-Saharan Africa. Islamic militants and radicalized criminal gangs are exploiting existing conflicts, insecurities, and poverty across sub-Saharan African nations such as Sudan and Eritrea in the east, Niger and Burkina Faso in the west, and Democratic Republic of the Congo in Central Africa, and as far south as Mozambique. It's funny because when it came to the Palestinians and people were saying, no, this is not a genocide, this is a war, there's a lot of conflicts to this, this is more complicated than what you guys are making it out to be. No, this is a genocide. I know that they're Arabs, but they're still indigenous to that land. No, this is a genocide. And then when people were talking about, but Hamas is controlling Gaza, and Hamas is a terrorist group. Oh my God, what are you trying to say? This is a genocide. Are you telling me that it's not free Palestine? Oh my God. Isn't it crazy how these Israelis are calling everything anti-Semitic? All eyes on Gaza, all eyes on Gaza. But all of a sudden, when we're talking about Muslims and what they're doing to other people, oh, no. This is not a genocide. No. What are you guys talking about? This is more complicated than you guys are making it out to be, okay? Yeah, no. You guys are being Islamaphobic, okay? This is not a genocide, okay? This is not a Christian genocide, okay? You guys are just trying to make the Muslims look bad, okay? How do you expect people to have sympathy for you guys? You guys already mocked a Christian man being assassinated. Tons of Muslims were just rejoicing over that. But then it gets better. Now you are denying the genocide of Christians in other parts of the world. I've heard Palestinian supporters saying, this is just a way to get our eyes off of Gaza. Oh my God. Excuse me? I had made a 2-hour video long explaining everything about the history of Muhammad, the history of Islam, and my reasons for leaving Islam. And a lot of that had to do with Islam justifying concubines, which, if you don't know what that is female slaves, okay? That was eating at my core. But then I started researching more and more about Muhammad and the history of Islam and how certain verses were justified in Islam according to what was going on in the life of Muhammad. And it is horrendous. This is not about Islamic extremism. This is about Islam being extreme and the teachings of Muhammad being extreme and how he praised bloodshed. He literally told men that if you become a martyr, you will have 72 virgins, baby. The Battle of Banu Qurayza was when Muhammad allowed for the execution of 700 Jewish men. They took the children and forced the women to become concubines. Again, something perfectly allowed in Islam, in the Quran. The reason why Muslims don't practice slavery and concubines in the open is because Christian nations forced them to stop this. The United Nations had to be involved in order to make them stop this practice. What that last girl failed to mention to you guys is that in Islam, Muhammad ordered Muslims to kill other people who leave Islam, and that is called apostasy. And so a lot of the Boko Haram are targeting Sufi Muslims because even among other Muslims, they don't consider Sufi Muslims as real Muslims.
The Prophet told us, alayhi salatu wasalam, that there will be 73 sects of his ummah. They will be divided into 73, all in hell except one. And when they asked him, which one, O Prophet of Allah? He said, those who are on the footsteps of my footsteps and the companions. So those who are following the Prophet ﷺ and his companions are on the right track without any doubt. That even the Christians have this light heart and this tranquility they find, though they are disbelievers. This is from shaitan. You cannot get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal except through the Quran and the Sunnah and following the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ, and your practice is full of innovation.
A long time ago, even when I was Muslim, I had made a video talking about how I find it very weird how you guys hate Christians, hate Jesus, will mock Jesus too. But then when it comes to Muslims, oh, respect the Muslims. Oh my God, Muslims, welcome. Oh my God, yes, we have a Muslim mayor now in New York. But let a Christian person want to practice their religion. Oh my God, you are evil. Oh my God. Muslims are being persecuted also because Nigeria has blasphemy laws. Blasphemy laws are majority in Muslim countries. Muhammad also unalived people because they talk bad about him. And in his hadiths, they say whoever insults a prophet, kill him. Take a screenshot of this Muslim Nigerian man who has a case because allegedly he put an imam above the Prophet Muhammad. So what did they do? They arrested him because they have Sharia law, and also they burned down his home. Jesus never asked for you to wage war all in his name. Muhammad did though. So that's why when you are a Muslim in a Christian nation, you are free to practice your religion. Under Islam, no one is safe. As Christians, you have to learn about what Islam is teaching, what the history of Islam is. Jesus said, love your enemies, but he never said to be stupid, to allow others to take advantage of you. Muslims in America have already been telling you they're coming for the West. This is a core part of Islam. And if you don't believe in that, that's on you.
Because I want to tell people about Islam. And if I stay in a Muslim country, they're already Muslim. So there's no point of me telling them about Islam, right? So I have to be in a place where people are not Muslim, right? So if I'm in the UK, there is a lot of people who are from different religions, different faiths, where I can have a dialogue, because this is what I do, right? Interfaith, religious discourse, and all of that. So I engage with different people. Yeah.
Could a Christian move to a Muslim country and freely and openly convert the people from Islam to Muslim? To Christian?
Well,
Christian?
Ideally, under Islamic law, no, you're not allowed to, because Christianity is false, while Islam is the truth.
And
So just because you guys are liberal, wait, I'll answer you. Just because you guys are liberals, following liberalism, and you believe that anyone can do whatever they want to do, that does not mean that we're also liberal, all right? We don't allow harmful ideologies for our children. We don't allow these harmful ideologies to infiltrate into our people.
When tolerance becomes a one-way street, it leads to cultural suicide. When I am able to fly to Saudi Arabia with my Bible in hand, with my cross around my neck, to go to Mecca and go to a church, then guess what? We're good to go. But until that point, we have to understand the objectives and the goals.